What's up, everybody? Welcome to the NFL Power Hour. It's a new show we're doing right here on the Max Wagers Network, brought to you by Picks and Parlays and, of course, BetMGM. For all new accounts, you are getting hooked up with a $1,000 risk-free first bet when you get signed up with BetMGM. Make sure you download the app and use the promo code MORNING, or you can check out the description of this video and click on the link. That will take you right to BetMGM. My name's Allie Burns. We're going to get this party started. We're going to have Cam Ross on the show today talking about the Chargers. We've got Nick Earl from Earl Sports Bets giving us regular season win totals on the Jets. And the big man is here. El Jefe Craig Trapp will be in giving us some of his insights on what he can expect or what you can expect to find odds wise when you're looking at the Super Bowl. It's never too early to be looking, and this is when you make those futures bets. So with me today, up first, Cameron Ross is here. We're talking the Chargers. How's it going, Cam?
It's going. I'm so excited to talk about football. I told you earlier, I've written about football today. Football's coming. And when football gets here, that means basketball's really close. So just really pumped and trying to just not. But yeah.
Yeah, it's what we love baseball. Everyone loves baseball, but when it's the only thing you talk about for so many months in a row, it's just like, okay, let's go football,
Yeah.
let's go basketball.
Anything. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
so
the
the
paint
time is
walls.
upon us. We can actually make bets on football now, and that's kind of what we're talking about today is regular season win totals. We're going to go with the Chargers. Cam, give me a quick breakdown on what you think the Chargers season is going to look like this year.
Yeah, I really like the Chargers. I liked the Chargers last year too. They faltered a bit late, and with the Chiefs and the Bengals running through the AFC, it was a tough go. But I really do like the Chargers. But more importantly, I like Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert could potentially be a dark horse MVP type candidate. I think as he gets older, he's going to win one sooner or later. But he seems to have been coming into his own the last year, especially, and I think this year it's just going to be better for him. He comes back this year and he has a good amount of weapons and an arsenal around him. He's going to have Keenan Allen will be his primary target again. They were cool last year. Austin Eckler is going to be in the running is going to be the running back for them again this year, and he was really good for the young quarterback. But I think their draft pick Isaiah Spiller is going to add a new facet to the not the San Diego, to the Chargers offense and just give them a different look. But just all in all, their offense is really good and really loaded, and they're going to put up a bunch of points, and they're going to be an issue for a lot of teams to compete with because, as you flip the page, the Chargers defense is good. They're really, really good. They already had one of the best edge rushers in all of the NFL, Joey Bosa. He's going to be back this year. He's expected to be healthy and good to go by the regular season. But the Chargers added some guy named Khalil Mack. I
I
think
feel like I've heard of him.
yeah, he's played football here and there, and Khalil Mack is an issue. To say it lightly, he's an issue. But Mack and Bosa on this line, coming from both sides of this line, gives the Chargers an element that not a lot of teams are going to have because they have two elite guys who can get to the quarterback, who can get in the backfield and disrupt everything, every play. It's going to make it easier for the secondary because the secondary is not going to have to cover as long. It's just going to make everything a lot easier for them. They're deep, they're healthy, they're talented, they're young, they're hungry, and they're led by one of the futures of the league in Herbert, and as he's coming into his own. And I really like the Chargers this year. I think the Chargers are going to beat a lot of teams. Everybody's really, really heavy on the Bills, and I get it.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, they're going to be good again, but I think the Chargers, their time is coming, and they could potentially make a deep run in the playoffs. They're going to make it to the playoffs, but I think their win total is far too low. This is a double-digit win team for sure, as I think they could potentially try to compete for the best record in the AFC. Don't know if they'll get it, but I think they're going to bust their win total with all this talent and all their weapons on both sides of the ball.
Another thing they did, they hired the former West Virginia quarterback Pat White as their offensive assistant. That's supposed to be a really big move as well. They're calling him a gem among the coaching staff. So, what do you think? I mean, obviously, I know what you think. This helps more than hurts. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He's it's another gunslinger,
Yeah.
and he's got a kid. He's got a young kid quarterback, Justin Herbert, who he came out of Oregon. People thought he was drafted too high. Oh, this isn't going to work. This is going to be a bust. And the kid is a stud, and he's got a hand cannon, and he's going to throw the ball all over the field, like point blank. He's going to throw the ball all over the field. And even tight end Gerald Everett, he's going to see the ball. He may be a safety blanket type check down type guy for Herbert. He's going to see a lot. He's going to hit the backside of the backfield. But yeah, the gunslinger mentality was already there, and now you add a guy who that's his forte. It's just going to help the team, and I think they're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to be fun to watch.
How much does losing their linebacker Kenneth Murray affect them? They're saying that he should be out. They're not exactly sure how long. The timetable could be a significant setback for the Chargers. How do you think this is going to affect their win total?
I don't think it'll affect their win total so much per se. It is a defensive leader that they're not going to have right away. He's not going to be there. But again, the addition of Khalil Mack, I know they play different positions. I know they're different, but there's another elite coming off the edge constantly. So if the line is leading the league, if you have two guys in the league, two guys on your defensive line as league leaders in tackles for loss, sacks, pass breakups, whatever, the linebackers, they're going to help. But also with him being hurt, with Khalil, with Bosa back healthy, that may give him a little bit more time to make sure he's ready to come back. If he were to come back in week 8 or week 9 and they're like 5-4 or 4-4, okay, you got to go back now.
Right.
But if there's something like 7-2, okay, you know what? Let's wait another week. Let's see what we got. Because of course, he's going to make an immediate impact because again, he is one of the leaders of this team, and they'll miss him, but I think they have enough talent and enough depth and enough, just enough to cover up him not being there for now.
Right. All right. So we're going over the 9.5. That is your official play for the Chargers regular season win total. Find Cameron Ross over at picksandparlays.net. And when you find him there to buy his premium plays, make sure you use our promo code CFL. That's going to save 20% off whatever you buy from Cam. Cameron Ross, thank you so much for joining the NFL Power Hour. I'll check you out next week.
I'll be here. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. All right. So before we get moving along to Nick Earl and the New York Jets, we are going to remind everybody about the official sponsor, BetMGM. Use that promo code MORNING and get hooked up with up to $1,000 in a risk-free first bet for all new accounts. It's kind of a big deal, guys. It's value. That's what we're all about in this business, is value, right? So check out the description of the video, click on the link, or just use that promo code MORNING and get yourself hooked up with BetMGM. All right. Up next, are we bringing in Nick Earl? Is that who's coming in next? All right. Perfect. So Jets are kind of your jam, yeah?
I'm actually a Giants fan, but yeah.
That's right. Your twin brother is a Jet and you're a Giant. So
yes, but I am higher on this Jets team than I am my own Giants team. So that should say something there.
There's been a lot of talk about the Jets this season and how they are going to overperform or outperform people's expectations, I should say. Lay it on me, Nick. What's your take on this? 5.5 seems low. I mean, I know it's the Jets, but it seems low for all the hype that I've heard about this team thus far.
Yeah, it's 5.5 because mainly it's the New York Jets. That name it's like the Cleveland Browns or whatever. It's been a history of just terrible and losing that people are not willing to believe that this Jets team can take a step up. I do like this Jets team. 5.5, I think that's extremely disrespectful for what this team has done in the offseason. I think we're going to see second-year quarterback Zach Wilson do take a step up this year. He's somebody that I'm looking to definitely perform better than he did last year. Also, when you look at what the Jets did in the draft, I was really happy with what the Jets did with the draft there. They got a good cornerback with the number 4 overall pick with Sauce Gardner. They got a nice weapon for Zach Wilson with Garrett Wilson. They got a good running back in the second round with Breece Hall. So I think that offense is going to take a nice step up. Plus, I think we're going to see this defense be able to perform pretty well as well. When you look at their schedule, they are favored in 3 games, actually, which are all later in the season. They're favored against the 2.5-point favorites against the Bears, 3-point favorites against the Lions, and 2.5-point favorites against the Jaguars. But I think this team is going to be one of those sneaky teams where they're going to go 7-10, maybe 8-9, but they're going to be a team that covers the spread 11 to 12 times this year. They're going to be one of those where they cover a lot of spreads. They may not win may not win as many games, but they'll cover spreads. And I do think this over 5, this 5.5 number is just way entirely too low. I think 6-11 is I think the floor for this team. The way that they're looking. I also really like their head coach. It'll be, I believe, the second year of Robert Saleh as well. So this Jets team, I'm looking for them to go over that 5.5.
So a lot of the other talk that we've been hearing about the Jets is the Zach Wilson-Wild relationship. Now, do you feel like this is going to affect the locker room, affect his play, affect we know how locker room drama or just public drama, media drama, we should say, can affect a team. Do you think this is going to have any effect on the Jets this season?
I think with the way locker rooms could be, I think this is only positive for him. They're going to have even more respect for Zach Wilson if these things are true.
Yeah, until he starts dating your mom, then what? Then what? Huh?
I think that'll be that would be more positive, I think, than negative. I think they'll have even more respect for Zach Wilson. I saw a tweet the other day. They said if these rumors were true, that would be the first time the Jets have scored over 40 since 2018. So I absolutely, I think the Jets they're gonna be feeling a little bit good about themselves, and 6 wins I think is reasonable to ask them to do. So I'm definitely liking that over 5.5. I think Zach Wilson's going to take a step up. I also saw after all that happened that a influx of tickets came in on Zach Wilson to win the MVP at 125 to 1.
Well, hey, if you're happy at home, you're happy on the field. So we'll see how that.
There you go.
Can't wait to see how that little sideline story plays out. Very excited to hear about that. So you're going over the 5.5. I totally agree with you on that one. Nick, tell the people what you've got to offer over at picksandparlays.net.
Yeah, we got all 3 sports going on right now. A lot of people focus on baseball this time of year, but Tim and I, we also do the WNBA and the CFL. So we're going to have CFL plays up all weekend, and we have WNBA plays up basically every day as well. So we got all 3 of the sports going on right now.
Perfect. I love it. So check out Earl Sports Bets at picksandparlays.net and use the promo code CFL to save 20% off whatever you grab from the Twins. Thank you so much for coming on the NFL Power Hour, Nick. I'll check you out next week.
All right. See ya.
All right. So before we've saved the best for last, it's Craig Trapp himself is here. We're going to talk some Super Bowl, but I want to remind everyone again about that promo code MORNING for when you get yourself signed up with BetMGM. Up to $1,000 for all new accounts in a risk-free first bet. Check out the description of the video and click on the link or download that app onto your phone and use my promo code. That's how you get hooked up. All right, without further ado, I've got Craig Trapp here. What's happening, boss man?
Not much. I mean, last few days of July, looking at some futures and get you pretty excited when you start looking at the futures because this time of year, some of the training camps have opened, especially the ones we got the Hall of Fame game, coming up, a week from today. Excited that we start to get even more news. And some of these odds are going to change because there are going to be injuries, unfortunately, to some key players. Hopefully not, but it usually is the case in the preseason that you do see some. So there is a little extra risk when you're laying future odds at this time of the year, but you also get more rewards because obviously these numbers could go one way or the other depending on what happens between now and then.
Now, one tip that I heard from a guest on Morning Wood was teams like the Packers or the Chiefs are going to be slower starters. They typically have slower starting seasons. So instead of taking their Super Bowl future right now. You want to wait until they're like 2-2, and that number will inflate. And that's actually when you jump on their Super Bowl future. So do you have any angles like that when like you don't just jump on them right away? What's your take on something like that?
Let's just tell you the teams that I won't bet because of odds, solely based on odds. Because to me, if you're playing a team, you want to get 10 to plus, even that 12-1 or more on my money if I'm going to lay my money out this long. So the Bills 6-1, Bucks 7-1, Chiefs 10-1, Packers 10-1, and even the Rams 11-1. Those are teams I'm not betting when I'm betting late July, early August, because like you said, you probably, if they start out 0-1, will get better odds if you just wait. And maybe even wait a few weeks. They could win the first week, then lose 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden, a team in their division's 3-0. Now they become a little better value. Or, heck, who knows? They get an injury or something, and then the odds go up too. So to me, if I'm laying, this early, which is when I'm betting them right now, I'm not going to lay that unless I can get 12-1 or better. So those are teams I'm not playing. Let's just go with that. Even though I think all those teams are going to be good and probably going to be in the playoffs, which is one. You cannot win the Super Bowl if you don't get in the playoffs. My Bengals last year were just get in the, with this extra wild card now, just get in. So that would be how I play future odds. Don't play anything in any sport. And that's how it goes for any sport for me. If I'm laying my money and I'm not going to be waiting 6+ months, I'm not laying my money if I'm not getting, double-digit odds. Especially, I like that 12-1 number at least. So that's kind of my rule of thumb when it comes to future bets, especially before the season starts for any sport.
All right. So 12 is your number. That's the magic number. Nothing below a 12-1. That's a plus 1,200 for people who don't know. When you see 6-1, that's a plus 600. That's kind of what those numbers are telling you. I know that can be confusing sometimes for some people, but that's what that means. So 12 is where we go. Nothing less. But that being said, should one of those 6-1s become a 12-1, now we're interested. Now we're talking.
Or even if you're like, week 6, week 7, and now we've seen these teams play. Now let's remember, several of these teams have big changes, like the Packers. You lose your top receiver, his top weapon. Maybe the Packers aren't as good as we think. Maybe they're just fine. And they're 4-0 after 4 weeks. And now I'm getting in that range still. And I think then my money's only going to be outlaying for less weeks. I know it's a proven fact what they're going to be at this point, at least at that point of the season. Then I would probably play a less than double-digit odds. But until then, I would stay away from the odds. And to me, when I'm going at the bigger odds, I'm usually taking 2 teams, if not 3, because I'm like, all right, I'm getting 20-1. Well, 14-1. I can afford to take 3. If I hit one of the 3, I'm still have a pretty good profit when it comes to that. And also, if you're late in the year, if they do make it to the Final Four, then maybe I can hedge out even.
That's what was going to be my next question. How do you feel about hedging, and how do you feel about prop swapping? Are you into selling off your tickets? It's harder nowadays because we don't use paper tickets, but I'm in Vegas. Paper tickets were the way to go forever. And especially, I like a paper ticket on a future just because I have it in my hand and I can prove it if something digital goes wrong or weird or something. But it was kind of a thing to, you've got your future, they're in the playoffs, and there's some big so-and-so fan who will buy that sucker off of you. You can make a little bit of profit. You don't care who wins. How do you feel about hedging and prop swapping?
Rarely will I do either.
Okay.
But, there's it's like I'm not a huge parlay guy, but I parlay at times. I'm not a huge teaser guy, but I tease at times. So there's always a situation where it sees right. But to me, if I feel like I'm right, which if I'm betting the future, obviously I at least have an opinion early, at late July, early August, what that's going to be. I kind of want to see it through. And I don't want to take less odds, especially if I'm getting that 20, in that 20-1, 14-1 to 25-1 range. I don't want to, because they're not going to pay you that. They're going to give you, if say you put $100, you're going to win 1,500 if it wins on a 14-1 shot. Someone might give you $500. It's like, I don't want to take that discount, to be very honest, most cases. So, but I do have two for us to talk about that I do like, and I believe one of them is your team.
My Houston Texans. Just crumple that up, throw it away.
It's not the Texans.
Okay.
I thought Chargers are one of your teams. No,
they are. I'm an Oregon girl. I'm a Duck. So I
Yeah,
love Justin Herbert. Yeah, I love Justin Herbert.
the positives. The Chargers, I think, have maybe the most explosive offense, top 5 offense in the league. I love their defense. I love Bosa and that defense. Coaching seems to be the negative of that team lately. It's like they find ways to lose close games, which guess what? If you're going to win a Super Bowl, you're going to have a few close games in the playoffs. You got to figure that out. But I think, as your quarterback gets more experience, that helps the coach because it makes you smarter when you go for it like they did all the time last year and your quarterback completes those passes. Now you're a genius. Everybody's a genius if you have Patrick Mahomes, making these ridiculous throws. But if it doesn't happen, then you're kind of an idiot, like the game against the Raiders. We went for it all those times and didn't get it. So to me, I like the Chargers.
Such
I
a
think
good game.
the other negative about the Chargers is either the top division in football or the second. I would see the AFC North or the AFC West, and that depends if the Browns Watson plays at all this year. If he plays, I think that's the toughest division of football. But if not, it's the AFC West, and at the worst, they're the second toughest division. So a lot of teams you have to beat. I think the Raiders are going to be a team that is going to be very tough. The Broncos obviously have a quarterback now, Russell Wilson. It's going to be a very, very tough division. But I think they'll get in the playoffs, which is always a key to me, that they got to get in to win. Right. And I think out of the AFC West, I think they're the cream of the crop. I do like the Chargers to get in the playoffs, and I think they have a real good shot to win this year.
All right.
The second team obviously have a lot more questions, and that's the Indianapolis Colts. No, the Indianapolis Colts. I think at 22-1 is great value. Let's just say if they had an average quarterback last year or better, like they do, Matt Ryan, I think is a huge step up. That I think that team makes the playoffs, and they would have been very tough to beat. They could run the ball. They're good on defense. They're in a dome, so I always think that's I like that as an edge because when you're playing in the Midwest, like in Cincinnati, like my team, all of a sudden you're a passing team and it's 5 inches of snow and windy that's a problem. So I like the Colts. I think at 22-1, I think this is a very, very good team, and I think this team's going to start hot too. I just think they're going to be. When you look at their schedule, I think they're going to be 3-1, 4-1 to start. And I don't think you'll be getting these odds after the first few weeks. So I like the Colts as the other team. And like I said, they're in that range of teams I like from 14 to 25-1. Because after you get past the Colts, when you look at the odds, you start to get like the Eagles 25-1, the Browns at 30-1, the Cardinals at 35-1, the Titans at 41. And then everybody else is pretty long shot for me. Although the Raiders are 40-1, and I think that's a pretty good value there. To me, those teams, the likelihood of them making the playoffs isn't good. And to me, that's like you got to make the playoffs to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. So to me, I like the Colts 22-1. I like the Chargers at 14-1. I think those are two obvious teams. And like you said, if you're not a guy that wants to lay 5 or 6 months of your money output, and don't get me crazy, I'm only betting, say if I'm a dime better, I would suggest that you bet only 10% of what your normal, max wager is. So if you're dime better, I would say don't lay any future more than $100. And so that's why I need to get more on my money to lay that, so, lay $100. It's not a bad win if you're getting 22-1 on that. So that's what I would suggest.
I'm actually shocked to see that the Colts are 22-1. They're like, this is a team we've been talking about. This is a team that I think is, I don't want to say is under everyone's radar. They're on people's radar. The Colts can be really, really good this season. So I actually love that number. That's a fantastic bet right there.
Yeah, I guess because the Titans have kind of owned this division lately. So maybe people think, but look at who's in their division. Like, if you get past the Titans, no one else in that division, they should give them problem. I don't think the Jaguars are giving them problem. I don't think the Texans are giving them problem. So to me, I like this. Now the AFC is very tough. Obviously, if they don't win their division, to get in as a wild card might be tough this year. You're going to have the Ravens. I think the Steelers are still going to be pretty good. You're going to have the Browns being pretty good. The Dolphins, the Patriots. These are all teams that I don't think win their division. They're fighting for the wild card. And then you go out west, you're going to have the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders. I think all three of them could be playoff type teams. So two of them will be fighting for wild cards. So I think they have to win the division to get in. Then you're safe, and I do think they'll be the favorite. I think they win their division. So
beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you, Craig Trapp. If you guys are looking for Craig Trapp's premium plays, head over to picksandparlays.net. Use that promo code CFL. How you been doing over on the site? I was just there. I swear I saw you up on the leaderboards. You're kind of rocking and rolling right now, aren't you?
Well, I'm having a really good year. I was 1, 2, or 3, 4 top for the year. The last few days been tough. I had the Padres and that giving up the double that cost them the other day. So it's like those little ones in the short term can really hurt you as far as you look at the records are concerned. But long term, as a handicapper, is what you have to focus on. You can't say, "Hey, I went 1-3 yesterday or 3-1 yesterday," and be patting yourself on the back or get down on yourself, because that doesn't matter. You can go 5-0 today. If you go, have a losing day for the next 6 days, you'll still have a losing week or losing month type of thing. So to me, it's only matters what you do long term. And I'm super excited. Doing tons of studying for start of college football, the NFL. But what makes us money on a daily basis is Major League Baseball, a little bit of CFL, a little bit of WNBA. I'm not huge in those sports. We'll just I'm only taking when I really feel like there's an opportunity. If there's not something that I see, I'm not playing the CFL or WNBA just to say I'm giving out an extra play for today.
Right. You don't want to force it. It's not the time of year to force it, because the money-making time, the time where we all pay our bills, is right around the corner. So
yeah, exactly. It's not like basketball where you have college basketball, NBA, NFL, NHL, where we have 100 betting options. This time of year, most days you have 15 to 20 betting options. Some days in the CFL, you have one. So if you don't like the game, don't bet it. If you don't like the WNBA game and they have 1 to 4 games, don't bet them. I mean, don't force the cards. Take a day off. I know as far as a bettor, it's sometimes hard to take that step back because I either won or lost yesterday and it's a burning hole in my pocket. Mm-hmm. But just remember, if you lose it now, you can't bet it come football and basketball season, which like you said, we're a week from today to the start of the Hall of Fame game. So we're going to have preseason football, some extra, although I'm not huge in preseason football. And then it's about a month. We're about a month away from the start of college football.
That's killer. I'm excited. And then basketball comes and then we're all back on track and everything's right in the world again. Everything's perfect.
That's right.
So check out Craig Trapp over at picksandparlays.net. Oh, I did pull you up. Over the last 30 days, you are number 3 on the site. And for all of 2022, you are number 4 on the site. So keep on crushing it over there. Use the promo code CFL to save 20% off Craig Trapp's best bets. And also check out his daily free pick video. I cash on your free pick videos all the time.
Yeah, 5 free picks every day. You can get that. Yeah. But we also have Christmas in July right now. You can get if you go over to the site, you can get any handicapper rest of 2022. This is only for July. So if you're listening in August, sorry. But $5.99 for any other capper. For me, it's only $4.99. So.
Oh, all right. Well, that is value, people. And that's what we talk about all the time here is finding value. That's where it's at. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Craig. I'll check you out next week. We'll do some more. We'll do the same thing, just other stuff. That's what's going on. New information. See you later, Craig. All right, guys. So Craig Trapp, Cam Ross, Nick Earl. It was a great power hour today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget about that BetMGM promo code MORNING to get your $1,000 risk-free first bet when you're a new account. The link is in the description of the video. Don't forget about our promo code CFL to save you 20% off over at picksandparlays.net. And absolutely, positively, do not forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. We'll check you out tomorrow, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on the NFL Power Hour with Picks and Parlays.